So the first card is going to be what money means to you. Okay, means to you. Okay, so this is the Virgo card, and it is the Hermit. So but also if you can see right here, she's also spreading her seeds out, and that is going to help with her harvest. Okay, so money means to you something that you really have to work for, but it gives you your solitude. It makes you feel as though you're grounded for sure, because Virgos are also very grounded. And it also gives you time to reflect. So money, this is a very interesting way to look at money. I think it's different than what all the other signs have had so far. But it gives you your solitude for sure. So let's see. Let's just look at a clarification card on that. Okay, so your second chakra. So that may be something that you want to work on with the Archangel Ariel. So money also means to you the potential for romance in the future. I don't know if it's you feel like you want to secure money to have romance, or whether romance is sort of tied to how comfortable you feel when you have money. So, for instance, I know that some people, when they are struggling for money, their romance starts to go down the tubes. So, even if you're struggling for money, you want to make sure you keep that sacral chakra open so that you can also still, have the romance in your life, because that is, believe it or not, will help you manifest more, because you're releasing emotions and you're focusing on something other than making money or making the goal. And then also it'll bring you out of your solitude, because even though you like solitude, you still want to have something for yourself that's healthy, like a healthy romance or a healthy love. Okay, so that's a interesting. I like that reading for what money means to you. That's interesting. Okay, so what is your relationship to the energy of money? So we don't often think of inanimate objects like money having energy. We think of organic, like beings or something like that give off energy. But money is a currency, and it gets around a lot. And a lot of people touch it, and a lot of people have their hands on it, and it does create energy. So what does that mean for you? Let's see what the cards say. Like what's your relationship to that energy? Okay, so cardinal fire. So the King of Wands. So when you have money, you definitely feel like you stand in your power. Money gives you energy. That's like a stately sort of regal feeling. Like you've accomplished something really big for yourself, or that you're able to have more control over your environment and your situation. So that's interesting energy right there. And we also have the Ram down there in the Aries energy, so it makes you feel more on fire and more passionate. That's probably why you got that sacral chakra in the beginning there, because it's saying here that when you do have the money, the energy from money, that you're on fire again. So the passion probably starts up again too. But let's get some clarification and see. Okay, well, this is interesting because it's a little bit, off topic here. But, well, actually, not really, because what I see is that this card means that you're not looking at what you currently have. You're not looking around your surroundings thinking, I'm good for now. I've created a success for myself, and I have good things already. I have a house, I have a home, and you don't have to be envious of what you don't have, because when you fall into, it's not just envious of other people, or although that could be true, but it's more like always thinking that you can do more, or that there's this thing that's unattainable, this life that you just can't see, because you're focused. You're focused in the future, but you're not thinking about what you've already manifested and what's already in front of you. So it's about gratitude. So I can understand what that means in terms of your relationship, to energy, because you're always looking for this spark. You're looking for this fire in the background, but what you really want to notice is that you already have it. Just be grateful for it, because it's already there. So that was a little bit You know, it does relate though. I can see how it relates, but it was a little bit off. Okay, so the next card is going to be what does money offer you? So when you finally have money, what does it do for you? What does money, you know, lend you or give to you? And it says, okay, again with the romance. Okay, so there's your, you know, your soulmate right there, and your Gemini card, so communication and romance. I think that what I'm seeing so far, Scorpio, is that you really need to feel financially secure before you get into a relationship, because maybe you don't want to depend on the other person. You definitely want, you know, to stand in your own power, and it's really tied to how romantic you feel. You know, the more independent you are, the more solitude you have for yourself. It definitely seems like uh, that is something that I'm reading here, that when you have this independence, you feel more active romantically. Okay, well, that makes sense. Okay, the next card is how can you make the most of your money? So once you have your money, how do you make the most of it? Let's see. All right, again with the fire. So now we have the Queen of Wands, which is another fire sign. So this again is like it can be that you like also to provide for your subjects in a way. I say subjects because if you think of a queen, she has a responsibility to her subjects. And when she feels like she can provide, she feels very good. So when you make how to make the most of your money is being able to provide for yourself first and then provide for others. So even if you get into a relationship, maybe you like it when you can actually pay for half, or you like it when you can pay all of it. If you're, you know, if that's your mentality, you like to hold the purse strings in a way. So that's how you make the most of your money, is being able to provide. So let's get some clarification on that one too. Okay, so your sixth chakra. So another thing that you can make the most of the money with is by having a vision. And I think that I'm feeling this energy that there's not always a straightforward vision for you. So even if you have money, you don't necessarily know exactly what you want to spend it on, or who to spend it on, or how to spend it. So you need to spend some time just visualizing and seeing what dreams you want to come true for yourself, whatever you want to manifest in your life, because it's not all about just providing for someone else. Or it could be a vision that includes providing for someone else, but also I don't think, like, maybe you're more concerned with having the money than you are what you can do with the money. So make a vision board. Okay, so next is do you have a surplus right now of money, or are you in a sort of a shortfall or a deficit in money? So let's take a look and see. Okay, so we got the Pluto card, which is the Judgment card. In this case, I don't really think that this means necessarily judgment, because sometimes it may mean that the way you make your money may not satisfy you completely, but it does mean that there is some money, and it means that there's some abundance. So this tells me you do have some surplus for some time to come. So that's really good, especially in these times right now. Okay, and then you have this as a clarification, which is a man holding a coin. So this tells me that you have maybe a safety net of someone who you could fall back on if your surplus ran out, which is good. Or maybe there's someone who is willing to offer you some sort of financial stability if anything was to happen. Or this also could mean that there's someone who will come in your life who is financially well off, who will offer you some money. Okay, but it is a male energy, but that doesn't mean that, you know, if you're a male and you got this card, it doesn't mean that there's, you know, a male. It's just a male sort of energy of someone who's in control and someone who can offer you money. Okay, all right, so that's good. So the next card is what expense should you eliminate? And this has been fun for me because I can kind of see where you've been spending your money. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to decipher where it's going, and it has been for some of the other signs, but let's see what it is for you. Okay. Ooh, it's the Devil card, and it's Capricorn. So this actually, I mean, it's saying where should you eliminate? So it's basically anything that seems wasteful or doesn't add to your life really. So because when you look at the Devil card, Capricorn, it's like the negative side of Capricorn energy, and Capricorn energy is usually a very stable, rooted energy, a very headstrong energy, and that's all good, especially if you're saving your money and controlling your money well. But if you're being wasteful, you're going to get this card. So anything basically that you've been spending your money on that's wasteful, you want to try and cut that out because it's not. It may deplete that surplus that you have, and it may also stop you from making more money because you're not reinvesting that money. But let's get some clarification and let's see. Okay, so it's the root chakra. So I would say go back and do those videos on the second chakra that I made and also the root chakra because um, you want to feel rooted and you want to feel grounded, but when you're wasteful, it makes you feel unstable. So I would say eliminate as much wasteful expenditures as you possibly can. Okay, so the next one is what is your next realistic goal? And I had been getting some interesting cards on that. Let's see what yours is. Okay, so this is the Uranus and the Five of Pentacles. So this realistic financial goal in this particular reading is telling me that in 5 months' time, you should be able to start manifesting more money for yourself. And your plan should be starting to work within 5 months, as long as you stick to, because it's got some Taurus energy in it too. So as long as you stick to the plan and you're very diligent about it and you're very grounded about it, because you also got this grounded card, then in 5 months' time, these pentacles are going to pay off. And let's get some clarification on that. Okay, so there's contract here, fair and balanced, and also it could mean a literal contract. It could mean a work contract. It could be you're contracted to make some more money, but this does have to do with some sort of realistic goal. Maybe you win some sort of court case, or you get some money from some sort of contract. So that could also, if you go into some sort of contract that's going to make money, I would start thinking about that now, seeing like, who could hire you to do something or a certain thing. And it could be short term, something that's just 5 months, or it could be a contract that lasts for a lot longer, but once you start it, it could be paid off, and it could be starting to pay off in about 5 months. So your realistic goal is try to partner up with somebody or try to pick up something new or make a new agreement or contract with somebody over the next 5 months, and that's going to help pay off. Okay, so how do you reach that goal in that 5 months a lot quicker? So let's check it out and see. Okay, so you got the Eight of Pentacles and you got the Centaur. Okay, so this is a card, it's about healing, but it's also about moving forward and traveling. So a lot of times we spiritually heal ourselves by traveling somewhere or going somewhere to take like a retreat or something. So that would be my recommendation. Like if you're trying to reach your goal faster, then you want to take time out for yourself to retreat, to get emotionally balanced, and that's really going to help you because that's going to attract a positive energy into your life. Now this next card, oh, that's what we were talking about. is the clarification for that, which is the angel of balance. So when you're on this retreat, you want to get balanced. You want to get, all your chakras working right, and that's going to bring in a lot of positive energy into your life. Okay, Scorpio, and you have this angel on your side. Oh, my dog is making some funny noise. I don't know if he might be thirsty. But we have one more card, and then I'll go help him. So what we have is the last card, which is, what is the best thing to spend your money on? And I have a feeling it has something to do with, this retreat. But let's check it out and see. Yep, here we go again with the Sagittarius energy. So it's going to be some sort of, getaway, some sort of retreat, and it's going to give you temperance, which means that you're able to stay grounded as you take action. So, and you're able to balance that action, with stability. So all of your actions have some sort of gravity towards this abundance that you're trying to manifest. Okay, so yep, that made sense. And then the last card is going to be that clarification for that card, which is deceit. Oh boy. So this is telling me that there may be someone out there who doesn't like the success that you are about to achieve, or is either trying to put some negative energy into your way, and or either doing some sort of gossip that may either make you look bad or something of that nature. Or on the flip side of this card, it could also mean that you're talking yourself into negativity, and so you're deceiving yourself by not believing in yourself. So either way, one of those two things could happen. Is you want to make sure you start to do some spiritual cleansings, some things that make you vibrate at a really high level, so that anybody who does try and put you down, you always have something positive to say back. So therefore you basically take their energy and you put it back into the universe, but you put it back with love, because where there's love, there's negativity cannot live there, and the negativity they're trying to give you cannot stay inside of you, because there's too much love and it brings light to the situation. So you may also want to look at your heart chakra and go back to those videos, because the video series that I did, because like I said, where there's unconditional love, you can't be affected by anyone who's trying to deceive you, and you also can't deceive yourself, because you love yourself unconditionally as well when you open up that heart chakra.